Hey do. So back from church, and church was amazing as usual. Pastor Barnes preached from Matthew chapter 5 verses 13 through 16, and the title of his sermon was "How Well Are You Influencing the Earth, the World?" Something like that. And that raised a really profound question. What influence do you have on the world? What influence do you have on the people that you come in contact with? What influence do you have on your family, your friends, your coworkers, your children, your brothers and sisters in Christ? What influence do you have? And I think that's really important to think about it, because regardless of whatever, we are having an influence on someone, whether it's negative or positive. And I know a lot of professional athletes and rappers and actors and actresses, they like to say that they're not role models. But regardless of if you want to be a role model or not, you're still having an influence on people. You're still influencing someone in some way, whether it's positive or it's negative. There's an influence that's being left. And what as a Christian, what influence are you having on the world? In chapter 5, Jesus is telling us, Matthew chapter 5, Jesus is telling us that we're the salt of the earth, and salt preserves. So we as Christians, we're supposed to preserve the integrity of Christ. We're supposed to preserve the integrity of the kingdom. That's what we are to do as being the salt of the earth. And then later in verse 16, Jesus is saying to let your light shine before all men. And the light that's supposed to be shining is showing that we're blessed. And it's not blessed in a material sense. It's blessed as in you have the joy of the Lord. You have the peace that surpasses all understanding. You are meek. You're able to endure. You are powerful. You have love. Those things that are showing that you're blessed. Are you allowing people to see that? I think that it's so profound, because regardless of the platform or the position or the title that you hold, you are able to leave an influence on the world. The world as in the world, and then the world as in the people, the unbelievers, the people that their souls need to be saved. As a Christian, you have the ability to influence that. But in order to do that, you have to, one, know God. You have to know who God is. You have to know the characteristics of God, because we are made in his image as Christians. We're made in his image. We are his workmanship. So we possess those things. And if you don't know the characteristics of God, you won't know. Letting your light shine before all men is letting people see the God in you before they see the other stuff. So that's meaning treating people kindly. That's being gentle. That's being loving towards others. That's being merciful. That's being gracious to those that are needing grace. That's being forgiving. That's how you allow people to see the God in you, by doing the things, the characteristics of God. And in order to have an influence on people, you also have to know who you are in Christ. You have to know who you are in God. You have to know who God created you to be. You have to know your purpose. You have to know what you're gifted with, what you're talented with. You have to know those things in order to make effective influence on the world and on other people. Because you can be over here doing one thing and it's not working, and it's not an effective influence. But if you came over here into your purpose, in your lane, knowing what God called you to do, then you'll be able to have an effective influence on people. And I think that is so important, that as Christians, we know our purpose. We know what we're here for. We know what we're gifted for, so that we can be able to reach the people in the world that need to be saved, and so that we can edify those in the body and help them throughout their walk with Christ. So I think that it's very important to know your purpose and who you are in God. I know for a while I was praying, God, make me into the woman that you've called me to be. Make me into the woman that you've created me to be. But the thing about it is, he already did that when he created me. I just had to come into my fullness. I just had to mature enough to see, okay, it's like I always see it as it's like a video. Like, God already knows how it's going to end. We just have to go through it. It's like a movie, but not really. I mean, this is just my imagination. You're going through it, and you don't know that at the end, you already got this. But while you're going through it, you're like, okay, oh, I see how now. And God's like, you already there. You already that. So we have to know that we're already who God created us to be. We just have to move into it. We just have to grow into it. We just have to accept it and know it. And then we can have a positive influence on the world. I think that's really a great question. What are you doing to have an influence on the world? And it might not be what other people are doing. It might be something else. That's why you have a personal relationship with God. He can talk to you. He can tell you different ways. He can give you ideas. A lot of the ideas that we have are not of our own. It's God planting little seeds like, hey, do this. Hey, do that. And it might not seem like it's working, but if you could just reach that one, it's all worth it. So, yeah, that sermon was really thought-provoking for me as a Christian. It's like that accountability thing. Well, hey, let me make sure I'm doing what I'm doing. And if I'm not doing something, what can I do to have an influence on the world and the people that I come in contact with? Really great sermon. That was a really great sermon for me. So, yeah, ask yourselves, as a Christian, what influence are you having on this world? As a sister, our brother, our mother, our father, whomever, what influence are you having on this world? What influence are you having on the children, on your neighbors, on your family members? What influence are you having? Is it a positive one? Is it a negative one? Are you making one? I mean, we are, but is it one that would be that of Christ? Because as a Christian, you do know that we're representing Christ. We're Christ representers, and we have to represent Christ right. So, yeah, good question. Very thought-provoking. So, yeah, I just wanted to come on and share that with you all because it was so encouraging to me. And I just wanted to encourage you all in some way and share the sermon that my pastor gave today from my eyes, you know. So, yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. Pretty cool. I am going for the Seahawks. I know the Broncos are like, you know, Peyton Manning and all that. Seahawks over here for me. But yeah, it's a nice day out. Really nice day in Central Florida. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you all. Think about the influence that you're having on the world as a Christian, as a mother, as a sister, as a neighbor. What's the influence that you're having? Ask yourself that. And if you love someone, tell them, I love you. Bye.